Hi.
Hi, Tammy.
How do we shrink the screen so it's not big so I could see our class too? I am
Um, let's see.
I
Oh, what I just did is I just like pulled out my tab. So then I have like two tabs.
yeah, I accidentally made it bigger and now it won't shrink. Like, oh my gosh, what I do? Okay. No, it's not letting me at all. Let me see. Ooh, there we go. But I put it behind the screen. Oh.
So are you traveling right now?
Yeah, my husband, well, mainly my husband, but I have to travel with him so I can do his emails and stuff. Because he's a commercial real estate broker, and so we do it all over California.
Oh, wow. That's fun.
Yes. Yeah, it'll be fun when I can get this darn thing working right. Ah! Let me see. Oh, see. It keeps. Here we go. Now let's put that down here. Now I gotta find where you are. Just go out here. Oh, great.
So I have the assignment pulled up if you want me to use it.
Okay. But now I've lost how I can get into the other screen. I'm so not good at this Apple computer. I need to learn how to use it better.
Oh, it's all good. So I'm not too sure when Cheyenne is going to join us, but I think she should be on soon too.
Okay.
So I think at first we just introduce ourselves a little bit.
Yeah, I saw that. You know what? I think, oh, shoot. I saw it. And that's the volume. Oh, this is annoying, but okay. I'm going to give up here because I don't see how I'm going to. Um, it's also saying that it's too hot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Turn on the air so they cool it down.
You put it in the ventilation at the bottom.
This is not good. Okay, let me get the air going on it so that it can pull it off. No. My husband's eating. We haven't had lunch or anything. We're like, oh my gosh.
Oh.
Okay.
So, do you want to give a brief introduction about yourself?
Okay, I'm Tammy, as you know, and I live on the Central Coast. I am going to hopefully teach nutrition someday when I get it down pat myself. And oh my goodness, I have 7 kids.
Oh, wow.
My husband and I are a blended family, and they're all grown up. One's getting married in July. One just got married last year and had a baby on Mother's Day.
Oh.
One's moving to Colorado. I got a lot going on. Sorry.
Oh, it's all good. No worries.
Yo.
So I've been married for a year and a half, and I'm from Montana, but my husband was born and raised in Northern Virginia, and so that's where we currently live. We're about 45 minutes outside of DC, and I served my mission in Cleveland, Ohio, and that's about it.
Oh, wow. You served a mission, too. My son served a mission in Guatemala.
Hey, Cheyenne.
So have you guys did you guys do question and everything?
We're just doing the introduction right now.
Oh, okay.
So do you want to start? Or I guess you can wrap it up.
Oh. Telling us about ourselves?
My laptop.
Yeah. That's okay. I understand the travel life. I'm 22 years old. I major's healthcare administration and out of the month. And I coach gymnastics. One semester away from graduating. I live in Phoenix, Arizona, but I spend most of my time in California, Utah, and Idaho about. So yeah.
Nice.
That's cool. So you coach gymnastics. So too bad you didn't live closer to me. My daughter wants to do gymnastics so bad.
I've been coaching for about 10 years now.
Wow.
Wow.
I love it. I recently haven't been, I got an for my foot off. First gymnastics accident I've had, and so I'm recuperating. This is my first semester back. Giving it a shot. And so I hate group meetings just as much as you do. I schedule because I don't make my work schedule. You know what I mean? Like I don't buy my flights. Like I have them when I have them. You know what I mean? And it's hard. So.
Well, we don't have a.
For yesterday.
Oh wow. We only have one gymnastic place in our town, and she was too bored with it, so she's been flipping for.
You only have what?
Anyway, so that's why I say she would have loved to have somebody that taught gymnastics around her that would actually let her excel and not be stuck in one little doing cartwheels that she already knows how to do.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of a delay, which is probably because I'm traveling. But anyways, how exciting. You guys all have some exciting lives.
Yeah. Try to. Not really. Cheyenne's is cooler than mine, but you know. Okay, so let's go to part 2, the model review. Do y'all know about the theory of reasoned action / planned behavior model and how it works?
Is that the model that he just had us, because I completed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the one that we did this week. It was part of our reading.
Okay.
And we filled in the little graph.
Yeah. This one right here?
Uh-huh.
Okay. No, they can see. They just can't see.
Hey, Tammy, since you have that right in front of you, do you want to go through it for us?
Sure. Okay, so the behavioral model is a theory. It starts off with behavioral beliefs, goes to the attitude towards the behavior,
And, well, actually, here we go. You guys probably like looking at that better than my face anyways. So it goes over the attitude of the behavior, and then down to the intentions, and then to the behavior itself. Then we go to the normative beliefs, go over to the subject of the norm, the intentions, and then to the behavior. And the control belief, the perceived behavioral control, and then up to the intentions, and over to the behavioral. And then we have the perceived power, which down over here we have the actual behavior control, which then goes, and I'm not sure actually why it's, I'm not 100%. I think the actual behavior control is, they're just stating that is, I guess, you trying to control your behavior, or a person and control their behaviors and into their behavior, the perceived behavior.
So, Kelly, so this is normal Google Hangouts. Did you click record at all through this? Like, because aren't we supposed to submit a link to the teacher?
Yeah. So.
Can you get a link for this?
Yeah, I did have to hit record for another class that I did it for.
On the right-hand corner in the top,
automatically recorded.
It says live, so I think it is.
Okay, well, from my experience, I've used Google Hangouts, and that's what it says to use is the HOA on air. It's not just Hangouts. So, like this one, where I don't know how to find a link, or like it just says you're monitoring. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I don't see anything that says it's like recording, even in any of the little, or like how to find a link. I mean, you might be right, but if we don't know how to find a link, then how are we going to post it later? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so on mine, if you look, I don't know how it is for you, but on the bottom right-hand corner, it says links, and you just click it, and then there's a link for the event page, and then a link for like the broadcast, it looks like.
Okay, yeah, no, I don't have that.
On YouTube is what it says.
Yeah, okay, perfect. I didn't know you could do that with Google Hangouts. That's why I was curious.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it worked before my other class, so I'm just assuming that's going to work for this one as well.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, awesome. If I can get back. So then, so for part 3, it says what kind of interventions centered on the processes move people through the stages. So I guess I don't really understand that part.
Did you fill out that diagram of the stages?
Yeah, the one that we had to do earlier. The one that Tammy just read off.
Yes. Did you read off the first one or the second one? Oh wait, oh yeah. Well, they're basically the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, what's the question? Where you're on set? What kind of information? Oh,
So part question
through people through stages.
one.
Okay.
So I mean, I feel like I don't know, like I mean, isn't like that the purpose of like the interventions is for them to like move through these stages so that it leads to like a behavior change?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it talks about like with the theory of the first one, the reasoned action. It talks about like having a certain attitude and belief on the behavior in order to get to a different behavior and intention. So I think that that's something that gets people through the stages. Um, Yeah, a person's behavior is determined by their attitude towards the outcome of the behavior.
Well, I think I kind of missed what you said. Sorry. But oops. I was trying to get my screen to decrease so I could actually look at everything at once. But getting, we're still on what kind of intervention centered on the process.
Yes.
So I would think that, like, your attitude towards the behavior, the only example I could think of was like the attitude towards exercise. When I think of behavior, I'm thinking of something other than exercising. But as I was reading in all the readings this week, I noticed that it's more talking about the behavior that, like exercise or somebody wanting to change their lifestyle or something like that. Therefore, our behavior in changing exercise. So why wouldn't somebody want to exercise? Or what is their behavior, their attitude towards that, towards exercising? Some people are, well, I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning. These are just examples, but I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I have to drop my child off at school, then I have to head to work, and I'm not home until 6 or 7 at night, and that's generally to have dinner. So your attitude is that you don't have time. You don't know how to fit it in your day, or and then there's some people that just flat up don't like to go exercise. So how can we change that attitude towards the behavior and move through the stages? I would say would be to try and look at the outcome of the behavior instead of looking at your dislike for exercise. So what's the outcome you're going to get? Am I even on the right track?
Yeah, no, I think that's like right on. So you're kind of talking about like focusing more so on like kind of like the end results or like the benefits that you could gain through like a healthy through like exercising and having more so of a healthy lifestyle instead of just focusing on like the exercising itself.
Yeah, so what does exercise do? So my kids don't like vegetables, or not really all of them, only a couple of them don't. But, well, what do vegetables do for you? Or drinking water. Like I've heard some people say, I tried drinking as much of a gallon of water I could a day, and that benefited me because I felt better, I was more energized, kind of, instead of, well, I don't like drinking water unless it's flavored. Well, what is plain water benefiting you? Just like in exercise, what is exercise benefiting you?
Mm-hmm.
So in that behavior, yeah. So that's how we could like change the attitudes towards behavior, is kind of directing them towards what's the outcome they're wanting to receive.
Yeah, I think that's perfect, and I think that's exactly what he like wants us to talk about during this section. Is more so focused on the outcomes instead of like the initial problem or like the initial health, I don't know, health problem. You know what I'm saying? So it's like having a better perspective of why you're going to change instead of just focusing on that you have to change.
Or
Yes.
the difficulties of that change.
It's the drive behind it.
Yeah. Because I think sometimes if you look at the positive aspect of something, make the change. I don't, whatever it is, if you get it like, well, but when I exercise, because that's what gives me the drive, but when I exercise, I feel better. I'm more energized. I get more done during the day. I'm more focused on my conversations with my daughter who's still at home. There's just a round of things that I look at about exercising. And I think if we try to stay away from looking at the positive and start focusing on the stay away from looking at the negative aspects of it and looking at the positive, you tend to more have a drive to do it, to change that behavior.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
And like with the normative beliefs, if I'm understanding that one correctly, that's like, well, my family didn't grow up exercising. We went camping every summer, but that wasn't like a standard. We didn't go for walks every day. We didn't go for hikes all the time. So how do we change that normative belief? Is that the same thing you guys are thinking on that one? I hope I've got these right.
For like kind of like the definition of a normative belief.
Well, yeah, kind of getting like a lot of people tend to follow what's normal for them, and that's why they don't make the change to the behavior that they really want to have, because they keep falling back to that behavior, that something that they are used to and they're comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
Am I close?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of that has to do with environment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you may want something, but the people around you almost don't allow you to have it because it's so easy. What you're doing, that habit you have is so easy, and you try to break it. Like if you are to go exercise, well, you're the only one eating healthy, you're the only one exercising out of all your friends or peers or family, that almost impossible to like keep that up. You know what I mean? Even if you want it or have the right drive behind it. So I think that plays a very big factor.
Oh, that's huge, and I know exactly where that is. Like, you don't want to put the blame on who you're around, but it's true, because if everybody else is wanting McDonald's and you want to have vegetables or be at home and have a healthy meal, you usually are outweighed by what everybody else wants.
Yeah. No, and it's now a social norm to go get McDonald's instead of cook for yourself. Like I tell people I meal prep and they're like, good for you. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I'm weird. I am breaking the social norm by not eating fast food. And like a lot of the time we're not ready for that or don't, you know what I mean? Like we're scared of what someone might think of us for breaking that norm, because that's what society has given us those walls.
Yes, that's huge. And I don't think when maybe I could say right now too, that is great, good for you, because that is what we should be doing. And is we should be meal planning for the week for our busy weeks. But people don't, because it hasn't been something that they've done all their life, they struggle with, how do I do that?
Yeah.
How do I fit that in? I know that's something I'm struggling with right now. I have
Okay.
a plan and I want to put it into action, and that makes meal plan.
It is really hard. It is not easy. You can go to the gym for 2 hours a day, but man, prepping your meals is rough.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. But it has so many different benefits that come with it.
Oh yeah, well that's a given with, the food that we have in our world today. Okay, so I think that we kind of hit the parts of 3, or the questions in 3. And then did you guys do the thing, the whatever, the Grace case study?
I did, yeah.
So it just says share your thoughts on the option. So there was a couple of, but they were.
So did you guys rate Grace? Did you all do that part?
Oh yeah. So Grace thinks the powder is sugar. It is sugar. She's fine. Grace thinks the sugar is toxic. Her friend dies. Powder's toxic, but it's sugar. That's right.
Yep.
Those are the 4 options. So what did you think of those options?
So I numbered, 1 through 4. I have 5, 4, 1, 2 is what I put for my answers.
5, 4, 1, 2. Hold on. 5, 3. Oh, I see. 5, 4, 1, 2.
Yeah.
What? Oh, so for. Okay, got it.
What did y'all put?
I put 5, 3, 1, 1.
Wait, what happened to Tammy?
I don't know. We might have lost connection. She can join back at any time if she assists. Oh yeah.
Sorry, guys.
You're okay.
Hitting bad areas.
Oh, it's all good.
So we're just talking about what we rated Grace. Do you have that, Tammy?
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at it. Okay. Oh, it's going to make it difficult.
So I wasn't sure if we had to use all of them or not. So I think for number 4, I put 2, and Cheyenne, you put 1 for that one.
I put 3.
Oh, you put 3. And can you read me number 3?
Grace thinks the powder is toxic. It is sugar. Her friend is fine.
Okay.
Oh, you're talking about that part?
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I have that printed out. I knew I printed out for a reason. Oh, but it didn't keep my questions. I mean, my answers, and I did this like.
Well, you can look at it and figure your answer out. It's not hard. I mean, I'm sure it'll come back to you.
Sorry.
So I just thought that this little activity that we did was really interesting because, you know, it all like talks about intentions and like the intentions of, was Grace the one poisoning her friend or was she the recipient?
Grace is the one poisoning her friend, which, yeah.
Yeah, I just thought that was really interesting just because like it really does kind of all depend on her real intent and like what she actually wants to accomplish. And I thought during that little broadcast that we listened to, it was interesting when the woman said that, you know, if you ask two toddlers, or like if you ask a toddler, you know, like one person purposely broke one dish and then the other person accidentally broke 3 dishes, who's like the more bad person? And the toddler would always say that the one who broke more was worse than the other one because they just like don't really understand like the whole intention thing yet. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, so I put 5 for the first one because Grace thinks it's sugar, and it is sugar, and she wants her friend to be fine, right? So it's 5. Then I put 3 because she thinks the powder is sugar, but then it ends up killing her friend. Then she thinks it's toxic, which is low on the totem pole, so I put 2 and then 1. Based on what I understood from their intentions.
More Cafe Rio.
Okay. Where did you go with that? Where?
I thought you saw that I got Cafe Rio. I didn't know that you were asking me if I wanted Cafe Rio.
Oh.
But I'm doing project.
Okay.
The whole backside of it.
Well, I don't want to go back and try to watch the video again, but I don't remember what. I didn't think that Grace was trying to give her the toxic.
Oh, yeah. Pictures, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I thought she didn't realize that it was sugar, but I'm not. Like I said, I did this right away as soon as I could open it, thinking that it was going to print out with my answers, and it didn't. So now I've forgotten what the little video was all about.
You're okay.
So you say, go ahead.
Oh, nothing. I was just going to see if you wanted to move on to the application.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. So, we're doing the application by ourselves, but we're also supposed to talk about it with our group. And it just says to read the instructions for the application and prepare to complete the assignment by allowing a group member to select one of their interviewees. Work together to identify the constructs from the interview questions and select which area the volunteers struggled with the most. then work together to design interventions driven by the model. Use the application assignment worksheet to walk through the process. So I don't really get it, because then if you like go to like the application assignment, it says that this is like an individual assignment. So I guess we're just supposed to talk about it right here and then just like complete it on our own time. So for my 2 interviews, I interviewed a man from the ward and then my husband. And the guy from the ward, it was really interesting. He was like saying that he would like change and saying that he wanted to, but like his body language did not match at all. And he just had like a super lazy attitude. Compared to my husband's, I mean, my husband was kind of sort of lazy attitude, but it was more so willing to actually change and actually make changes compared to the first guy.
See, this is where I made a mistake, because I interviewed 2 people close to me that I know both of their behaviors with making changes as far as food is concerned or exercise is concerned. So I didn't really pay attention to their body language as much as I should have. I more focused on knowing that what they were saying to me really weren't going to do. So they weren't going to make that change.
Okay.
Well, I interviewed someone very close to me as well, and it was really interesting because she was so funny. She was super honest that she really wanted to make changes, but her body language was just like, oh, I'm not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, literally, it was so funny. I was like, she's like, oh, I know I need to fix this. Oh, I know I need to fix this. Oh, I know I need to work on this. And, like, was totally open about it. Like, oh, I want to work on it. I need to work on it. But then, like, I'd ask her things, and she'd be like, 3. And then all of a sudden, she, like, towards the end of the interview, we got down to the idea that she's not going to change anything because she doesn't want it bad enough. And I was like, I was sensing that the whole time. And then I'm like, now it's coming out of your mouth. But before, it was just her body language. It was super weird.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting, and I think like that's kind of how it is all the time. Like we want, because we know like certain things are good for us, we're like, oh yeah, for sure, like I'll do it. That's great, because like you don't want to sound like you're this lazy person all the time. But then when it actually comes down to like committing to something, you're like, no, not for me.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
I also thought it was interesting. I interviewed 2 people that were in the same friend group, so I thought that was something that was super cool, because when I asked if they thought that their friends and family were encouraging them to do this stuff, I got different answers. They were like, do your friends eat healthy? One of them was like, yeah, and the other one was like, no, not really. And I was like, you guys have the same friends. And then they had like this, this on what eating healthy was that was completely different, and I would have not thought that that was going to be a factor into the interview. I also asked, like, I was like, oh, do they want you to exercise, or do they want you to be happy? And like one of the ladies was like, oh yeah, I'm always getting encouraged, and the other one's like, I don't think I've ever talked about exercise with my friends. And I'm like, you guys have the same friends. Like, it was weird. They were different answers, so that was something that really came into the play of what we were talking about, the environment, social norms, making that behavior, even if you have the intention. I think all of that played a role in what I saw with my interviews.
That is interesting, because I know you're being actors, but and it's just like really, I never see that. So, I mean, I know everybody wants to, but I think that what was most interesting to me is that they want to, but they say they'll commit, but they don't. They're not going to commit. Or if they are, it's not going to be in the next, what, I think, was it next 3 weeks or something like that he talked about?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's just always really interesting, like, their type of commitment, because I feel like some people, like, they generally want to commit and, like, they'll try it out, but then they only try it out for a short amount of time that they get discouraged instead of seeing results fast, or instead of focusing on the end result, they just get too discouraged and just give up. So it says, work together to design interventions driven by the model. So does that mean we just like talk about an intervention that would help our interviewees to actually have a desire to change and to be healthy?
So I think if we came up with questions that maybe in that interview, if we would have asked questions like, well, how does exercise make you feel in the end, like we were talking about with the other one, we might have gotten a different response, and then their thinking might change towards what we were asking them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I feel like some of the questions that we asked our interviewees didn't really like fulfill like the outcome that we wanted to.
Yeah, I agree.
The specific questions, but I remember I wrote some of them down for the assignment. And so I think if we had different questions and maybe not have that scale so much, I think that would have allowed the people that we interviewed to just think more about their lives instead of just giving us like a number to represent whatever it was.
Yeah, kind of allowing them to on a scale of 1 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I agree with both those. I think some of the questions were really hard to answer and put people in almost confusing. You know what I mean? Like, how willing or are you, or do you want to do this? Well, how willing are you to do it? And like, yeah, both of those are a good point, but they were almost like worded so funny that it really, I feel like the people that I interviewed had a hard time understanding what I was asking, because as I made it to the end, like, of each section, they like realized that they had said they wanted to commit to something, but then when I was like, so are you going to do this? They were like, no. And I was like, okay, I don't think they understood. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. That, and it repeated it a lot. I feel like if there's a different setup, then it could be more concise and they could have realized like what we were trying to get at from the very beginning instead of like awkwardly finding out their end result.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I mean, I feel like that pretty much sums up what we're supposed to be talking about. And now, just on our own time, we can each do the application assignment. And then I will post this to the discussion board.
and can you have to post it with our first and last names as well?
Yep.
I was gonna say if you could do that, because I can't see the link. I don't see what you're seeing. So if you can see it, then if you could do that. And then let's just clarify. So next week we're meeting Wednesday. So Tamia and I are Pacific Standard Time, right? What are you, Kelly?
I'm Eastern.
Eastern. So you're 3 hours ahead of us, right?
Yep. It's 6 o'clock my time.
Okay. So we'll go off Pacific Standard Time from now on. And then does that make sense instead of Mountain Standard? Because we're going off Mountain Standard and none of us are Mountain Standard.
Yeah.
So we meet Wednesdays at 8 a.m., right? And that's 12 your time.
So let's like make that, so that
11.
works for everyone, right? Tammy, that's good for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I just don't want to have to mix that up or whatever and make sure that I am around. Wednesdays I usually am not traveling, so it's usually I fly out Thursdays and Tuesdays, so I try to stay away from those. Okay, then that's perfect. I think we're good. It was wonderful to meet you ladies. Tammy, I'm sorry about the confusion. I'm glad we got it worked out.
Yeah, thanks for meeting up today.
Sorry, you guys keep freezing on me, and it's probably because I'm traveling.
Oh.
It's just funny how when it stops, sometimes your reactions. Anyways.
Okay.
Awesome. I'll see y'all tomorrow, or I'll see y'all next week.
Okay,
Sounds
that's
good.
good.
All right.
Guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.